Introducing the Open Palm Podcast with host Jerome Shaw, available today on your favorite podcast platforms. The Open Palm Podcast is a positive, uplifting, motivational, and inspirational podcast. The host brings his insight and philosophy, and you can't help but gravitate towards his smile, his words, and his wisdom. Again, the podcast he hosts is titled The Open Palm Podcast. It's about inspirational messages, motivating themes, and thought-provoking ideas and topics. He'll also help you become more aware and in harmony with your own life, giving you a better understanding of your place in the world and using your skills accordingly, greeting the world with an open palm instead of a closed fist. You can find the show today on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. You can also connect with the host on Instagram at Jerome Shaw. That's JROMESHAW on Instagram. Jerome Shaw with the Open Palm Podcast. Motivation, meditation, mentality. Go listen, download, and subscribe today.
Two traveling monks reached a river where they met a young woman. Wary of the current, she asked if they could carry her across. One of the monks hesitated, but the other quickly picked her up onto his shoulders, transported her across the water, and put her down on the other bank. She thanked him and departed. As the monks continued on their way, the one was brooding and preoccupied. Unable to hold his silence, he spoke out. "Brother, our spiritual training teaches us to avoid any contact with women, but you picked that one up on your shoulders and carried her." "Brother," the second monk replied, "I set her down on the other side, while you are still carrying her." What does this story tell you? There are many things in life that many of us carry, many weights that we receive, or that we have as burdens or baggage or things that rest upon our shoulders. We all carry with us the weight of perhaps our past mistakes, regrets, and even mistaken beliefs. But what you are carrying does not have to burden you. You can set it down. You can let it go. You don't have to be so rigid. As in Taoism, it talks of rigidity as the way of being old and stale and stiff. A rigid tree that does not bend may be broken, may be snapped in a rough wind, while bamboo, being flexible, can remain solid, firm in its flexibility, but able to bend in a harsh wind. Whenever you are faced with certain beliefs, certain contradictories to your way of living, would it serve you or anyone else to abide by it to a fault? Or are there instances where you may bend or even break your code for the sake of another, for the sake of morality? After all, if no one was there to transport her across the river, what if she fell into the water and drowned? Who would have been responsible? Would they have blamed themselves when they knew that they stood idly by or walked idly by, having the means to help, the means to make a difference? Or would it satisfy them that they were able to uphold their moral code? That is a choice that one must make. Things may happen in life, but we do not have to hold on to it forever. We do not have to harbor it. just like anger, anguish, sadness, depression. Things may happen to us. We may be stung by a snake, as it were, or by a scorpion. We may be bitten by a venomous serpent. But what kills us is not the bite itself, but the venom that resides inside us. What hurts someone is not the act of someone who has done damage to them psychologically, but the hatred or the envy or the jealousy or any negative emotion that they continue to hold on to. Why was the second monk still carrying the woman in his mind when the first monk had already set her down? Seeing the opportunity to act, the opportunity to do a good deed, to do something right, he acted and did it without a second thought and let it go like a passing cloud. While the second monk, maybe perhaps wondering what would have happened if he had done, or if he had acted on his own instincts instead of rigidly adhering to his code. Would it have changed anything? The lady who thanked the first monk and departed was already on her way. Little did she know, she was still being carried inside the mind of the second monk. A lesson in letting things go. Certain situations may happen, events may take place. After all, life happens. But it doesn't mean that you have to hold on to everything that happens to you. It doesn't need to become your identity. You can let it go. Release it. You will find, in the end, that less can be more. Thank you for listening, my friend. This has been Jerome Shaw on TOP, the Open Palm Podcast here in San Antonio, Texas. I pray that you received an encouraging message from this episode today, asking the question of, what are we carrying? Are we carrying mistakes, regrets, beliefs? And what can we let go? What can we surrender? What can we give up to gain so much more? Share this episode with a like-minded individual, learning and growing, becoming their greatest version just like you. Pay it forward so more can hear the message. And if this is your very first time receiving this podcast, definitely subscribe for more inspirational messages like this. And if you feel compelled to support, consider opening your browser to anchor.fm/jshaw. Clicking that support link there is much appreciated, my friend. A big shout out and big thank you goes to all the wonderful supporters who continue to donate to this podcast, making it possible for episodes like this. Grab the new book now out on Amazon, Finding Inner Peace by Jerome Shaw. Have a wonderful and blessed day or night wherever you are. And as always, take care, my friend. Hey there, my friend. So you've heard about Anchor, but do you know why it's the easiest way to make a podcast? Well, first off, it's free. It allows you to use creation tools that let you record your podcast right from your phone or computer. It also distributes your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more platforms. You can even make money from your podcast with minimum listenership. It's everything you need in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. Can't wait to hear yours. Let's see what you have to offer the world.